The 11 parties in the multi-party charter for South Africa are holding a joint registration event at the Johannesburg City Hall. This is to encourage South Africans to register this weekend to vote in the elections. This will be the final voter registration weekend before the proclamation of the elections. Now, over 23,000 voting stations across the country will be open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Today also marks the last day of inmate registrations across the country's correctional facilities. Let's now take you to the Johannesburg City Hall and listen in to what's happening there.
He will be accompanied by Ms. Darcy Manganyi, the provincial chairperson of IFP, the Youth Brigade. As they come on the stage, I now invite the cheerleader, the leader of the song, to come and introduce them, please, over to the IFP.
Right, as you can hear there, the singing has begun, and this is that as the 11 parties in the multi-party charter for South Africa are holding a joint registration event at the Johannesburg City Hall, and this is to try and encourage South Africans to register this weekend to vote in the upcoming elections. And this will be the final voter registration weekend just before the proclamation of the elections. And what we know so far is that over 23,000 voting stations across the country will be open from 8 a.m. to about 5 p.m. And also from those conversations that we had with our reporter, Natasha, was that more and more parties are trying to rope in the young electorate to try to get them to register to vote. And let's take you back there to the Johannesburg City Hall.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, I just want to make one appeal before one speaks. South Africa is listening to us. So the way we celebrate should not make the message lost to the people of South Africa. I want to begin by saying good morning to the Johannesburg City, which is hosting us, and good morning to the people of South Africa. Today, you are exactly where you need to be. You need to hear the message about a massive voter registration in order to remove a government that has failed us. As the president of the IFP, I join my voice with my colleagues in the multi-party charter. We represent the strongest voices in the opposition, and we are speaking as one. People gathered here today reflect the true South Africa with its diverse cultural dimensions forming one country. We are indeed different and independent political parties with a shared common vision. As we gather here today, We are driven by a belief that South Africa can secure change for better, and we believe it can be done now. 2024 is the moment for South Africans to fundamentally change the trajectory of our country by unseating a failed government and empowering a new government, the alternative to be formed by the multi-party charter. For the first time in 30 years, since 1994 elections, the ruling party is likely to lose the majority. If that happens, a coalition opposition of parties stands ready to form a new government. We have not linked up ourselves randomly, but have carefully chosen the people we will work with, ensuring that the government we form is underpinned by values, principles, and solutions that the IFP champions. It goes without saying that we all want change. South Africa is riddled by crisis and corruption. The pain we all endure is greater by far for the youth. It is our youth who suffer the most. A failing education system bars young people from developing their potential. A failing economy keeps our youth away from work. A failing government withholds control of security and happiness to our youth. Quite clearly, change is needed, but not every party contesting this change, contesting these elections, can bring change. The power behind each of the parties in the multi-party charter is the fact that together we can form a government. Instead of just talking on the sidelines, we are able to get in the game, take the ball, and run with it. I am proud of the IFP's track record of good governance. The IFP comes to the multi-party charter with the principles of integrity. The Youth Brigade is driving a massive voter registration program so that every South African who is 18 years and above must go and register online on the 3rd and 4th, and on the election day, we all go to remove a failed government. My youth chairperson in Gauteng, I'm handing over to her to tell you how the Youth Brigade will be driving this program to unseat the government that has destroyed our dreams and visions.
Any youth that is struggling to get a job, and that is the essence of your future. Therefore, my appeal to our young people is register and go and vote in the election. Vote for one of the multi-party charter political parties so that we can ensure that we create jobs so that you can earn and create your own future. That is what it's about. When I talk about the young couples in South Africa, young married couples that their children are small and their worry is maybe they have a job, but they are worried about their children, what is going to happen to them. And my message to those categories, register and vote for one of the parties of the multi-party charter so that we can ensure that you have a better future for your children and for yourselves. Now, many people say it's necessary that you vote because each and every vote counts. But let's get practical. There are many people that says, well, I don't think my vote is going to make a difference. Now, let me explain to you what difference your vote can make in the election. And I want to put it in simple terms. Firstly, you must know your electoral system. South Africa has, in general, a proportional electoral system. What does that mean? An electoral system is actually the system converting votes in an election into 400 seats in the National Assembly. That's what the electoral system does. Now, how does it work? Proportional, if you get 10% of the votes in an election, you get 10% of the 400 votes in the National Assembly. Now, what does your vote make in terms of the difference when it comes to voting? And let me put it in simple terms. Say 10 people voted in the election. Let's say 6 people voted for the ANC, 1 voted for party A, 1 for B, 1 for C, and 1 for D. You can vote for any opposition party. Now what happens? Now the electoral system comes and it converts the 6 out of 10. And 6 out of 10 is 60% of the 400, so the ANC gets 240 seats. Party A, B, C, and D, each got 1, it is 10%, they each get 40 seats in the National Assembly. But if you don't go and vote, say for instance you would have voted for Party D, what happens now? Now the ANC gets 6 out of 9, and 6 out of 9 is 66% of the 400 seats. Your single vote makes the difference. And it favors the governing party if you do not vote. Understand your electoral system. Each vote counts. En dit is uiters belangrik dat ons kiesers moet weet. Dit is die verskil wat jou stem gaan maak. Dames en here, ons sit by 'n geleentheid om die koers van Suid-Afrika te verander van 'n koers van vernietiging, van misdaad, van ellende, van hongersnood, om daardie koers van onsekerheid vir jou toekoms te kan verander na 'n toekoms van werkskepping, 'n toekoms om die ekonomie te laat groei, 'n toekoms om misdaad te bestry. Op die einde van die dag 'n toekoms gebaseer op vrede, voorspoed en veiligheid. Maak seker. We all want peace, stability and a bright future. Only the electorate can make that change, because a political party is only as strong as the voters who vote for that specific party. This is an opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend you go and register at the nearest voting station. And remember, in this election you can only vote at the voting station where you are registered. It's important to know that. Register, vote, and let's repair and build South Africa. Kom ons herstel en ons bou.
Yes, that's for the FF Plus, and that is Dr. Peter Groenewald. And of course, he's speaking there at the Multi-Party Charter for South Africa gathering that is holding a joint registration event. This is in an effort to try and get as many people to go and register to vote.